Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and lovers of history. Today, we are diving deep into the world of rare and valuable wee pennies, those humble 1-cent coins that have, over time, become some of the most prized possessions in the world of numismatics. These aren't your everyday pocket change. No, these are coins that could literally make you a millionaire if you're lucky enough to find one. So grab your magnifying glass, dig into your old piggy banks, and stay glued to your screen as we uncover the top 9 most valuable rare USA wee pennies, each one carrying a unique story, historical value, and a market price that will blow your mind. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1940s Lincoln wee penny, a small copper coin that has captured the attention of collectors and history buffs alike. Believe it or not, this 1-cent coin, minted over 80 years ago in San Francisco, can be worth thousands of dollars today. In fact, one pristine example has sold for a jaw-dropping $53,623. So sit back, relax, and get ready to explore the fascinating history, key features, and current market value of the 1940s wee penny. Let's start with the historical background. The 1940s were a time of great change in the United States. World War II was on the horizon, and the nation was coming out of the Great Depression. Despite the uncertainty of the times, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coinage, and among them was the Lincoln wee penny, a beloved staple of American currency introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. The 1940s penny was minted in San Francisco, which is indicated by the small S mint mark located just beneath the date on the obverse side of the coin. That S stands for the San Francisco Mint, one of 3 mints operating in the United States at the time, alongside Philadelphia and Denver. In 1940, the San Francisco Mint struck 112,940,000 Lincoln pennies, making it a relatively common coin in circulated condition. But don't let the high mintage number fool you. It's the condition, rarity of errors, and historical preservation that makes some of these coins worth a fortune today. Let's break down the physical characteristics of the 1940s wee penny. The coin is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighing 3.11 grams. The diameter is 19 millimeters, and it features the classic wheat reverse design that ran from 1909 until 1958. On the front, you'll see the bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, the words, "In God We Trust." Above his head, Liberty, to his left, and the date, 1940, with the S mint mark directly below it. Now let's talk about the real reason you're here, the value. In average circulated condition, the 1940s penny is worth anywhere from 5 cents to $1.50 depending on wear and overall appearance. However, when you step up to uncirculated or mint state grades, the value starts to increase rapidly. A 1940s penny in MS60 grade can fetch $8 to $12, while one in MS63 red condition, meaning it has retained its original red luster without any oxidation, can sell for $30 to $50. But the real goldmine lies in the ultra-high grades, such as MS67 red and above. These coins are almost flawless, showing full strike, vibrant red color, and minimal contact marks. And that's where things get exciting. One particular 1940s Lincoln wee penny, graded MS67 plus red by PCGS, sold for a staggering $53,623 at auction. That price wasn't just for its rarity in terms of mintage, it was also because of its pristine, untouched condition. In fact, only a very small number of 1940s pennies have ever been graded this high, making them incredibly rare and valuable to top-tier collectors. These coins are often stored in protective holders from the moment they're discovered, never exposed to the elements or the oils from human hands. Why are these high-grade coins worth so much? It all comes down to demand and condition. Serious collectors are always on the hunt for the finest known examples of every date and mint mark combination. They're willing to pay a premium for coins that show no wear, no discoloration, and no contact marks, coins that look like they just came off the press. Era coins from 1940s are also a hot topic in the numismatic world. While not as common, some 1940s pennies were struck with off-center errors, repunched mint marks, or doubled dies. These era coins can drastically increase in value depending on severity and visibility. A 1940s penny with a strong repunched mint mark can fetch $50 to $200, and some dramatic off-center strikes have sold for several $100s. Another factor that impacts the value of your coin is its color designation. Lincoln wheat pennies come in 3 color categories: red, RD, red-brown, RB, and brown, BN. The redder the coin, the higher the value. That's because red coins have retained their original mint color, indicating excellent preservation. Over time, copper oxidizes and darkens, so a red coin from 1940 is a rare find. So, how can you tell if your 1940s penny is worth big money? First, check for the mint mark. Make sure there is a clear S beneath the date. Then examine the coin's condition under good lighting or even a magnifying glass. Look for signs of wear, scratches, and discoloration. The less of those you see, the better. If the coin appears bright red and nearly flawless, you could be holding something special. If you think you have a valuable 1940s penny, the next step is to get it professionally graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. These companies will examine the coin under strict criteria and assign it an official grade. Having a graded coin increases its credibility and marketability significantly. Collectors are more willing to pay top dollar for coins that have been authenticated and encapsulated. Another place to look for rare 1940s pennies is in old coin rolls, estate collections, and even your grandparents' coin jars. You'd be surprised how many valuable coins are hiding in plain sight, forgotten in drawers or tucked away in dusty boxes. The story of the 1940s Lincoln wheat penny is a testament to the incredible value that can be found in ordinary objects. What was once a simple copper coin used for daily transactions has now become a valuable piece of American history. Its worth today, especially in gem condition, reflects not just the rarity of the coin, but the passion and dedication of collectors around the world. So, if you happen to find a 1940s wheat penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. It might be worth more than you think, possibly even thousands of dollars. And who knows? You might be the next lucky person to find a hidden gem worth over $53,623. Thanks for watching and supporting our channel. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable pennies, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more coin stories, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss a treasure. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and remember, history is right in your hands. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors, history lovers, and treasure hunters. In today's detailed video, we are diving deep into the fascinating story of one of the most iconic and surprisingly valuable coins from the early 20th century, the 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. While it may seem like just another old penny to some, this coin hides an incredible history, immense collector interest, and as of today, a jaw-dropping market value reaching up to $44,726 for certain rare examples. Yes, that's right. A simple 1-cent coin from 1941 can be worth tens of thousands of dollars if you know what to look for. So stay with us as we uncover everything you need to know about this incredible piece of American numismatic history. Let's begin with the origin and background of the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny. This coin was part of the beloved Lincoln Cent series, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the coin features a right-facing profile of Lincoln, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," above, "Liberty," to the left, and the year of mintage to the right. The reverse side showcases 2 wheat stalks along the left and right edges, encircling the words 1 cent and United States of America in bold capital letters, with the phrase E pluribus unum above. In 1941, America was on the brink of entering World War II. The economy was still feeling the effects of the Great Depression, and every resource counted. Despite these turbulent times, the U.S. Mint managed to produce over 1 billion Lincoln cents that year. That's right. The 1941 penny is actually one of the most heavily minted coins of the entire wheat penny series. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 887 million coins with no mint mark. The Denver Mint produced over 128 million marked with AD, and the San Francisco Mint produced nearly 93 million marked with an S. So why is the no mint mark version, the one from Philadelphia, so valuable today? The answer lies in condition, rarity of certain varieties, and collector demand. While millions of these coins were made, most were circulated heavily, worn down, or damaged over the decades. But if you happen to find a 1941 penny in uncirculated, pristine condition, especially one with a special error or variety, you could be holding a small fortune. Let's talk about grading. Coins are graded on a scale from poor 1 to mint state 70. A common 1941 penny in circulated condition might fetch you just a few cents or a couple of dollars depending on where. But a 1941 no mint mark wheat penny graded MS 67 or higher by the Professional Coin Grading Service, known as PCGS, can be worth thousands. These high-grade examples are rare because most coins from that time weren't stored properly or handled with care. Now, let's highlight one of the most astonishing sales on record. A 1941 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny graded MS 68 red, meaning it retained its full original red copper luster, was sold for a whopping $44,726 in a high-profile auction. What made this coin so valuable was not just its exceptional grade, but also the fact that very few others like it exist. Only a handful of MS 68 red 1941 pennies have ever been certified, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar to add such a pristine piece to their collection. But it's not just high grades that make this coin valuable. The 1941 Lincoln cent is also known for several striking errors and rare die varieties. These errors include double die obverse, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, and even clipped planchets. A double die obverse occurs when the coin is struck twice with a slightly misaligned die, creating a noticeable doubling in the inscriptions or design elements, particularly in words like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." Some of these error coins have been sold for thousands of dollars depending on how dramatic and visible the doubling is. Another example is the off-center strike. These coins were improperly aligned during minting, resulting in a coin that appears skewed or partially blank on one side. Depending on how much of the design is missing, these errors can also fetch impressive sums at auction. Even minor errors can boost the value significantly, especially when paired with a high grade. So how can you tell if your 1941 penny is valuable? Start by checking if it has a mint mark. If there is no mint mark below the date, it's from the Philadelphia Mint, the version we're focusing on today. Next, inspect the overall condition. Does it have clear detail, no scratches, and an even tone? If it looks near perfect, it might be worth sending to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication and grading. Look carefully for any unusual doubling, unusual shapes, or die breaks. A jeweler's loupe or coin magnifier can be extremely helpful here. It's also worth noting that even coins in moderately circulated condition can still fetch $50 to $100 if they are particularly clean or have a minor error. Meanwhile, uncirculated examples can range from $200 to $2,000, and those with high mint state red designations can go all the way up to that astonishing $44,726 mark. Collectors are particularly attracted to the 1941 penny because it represents a transitional era in U.S. history. It was the last full year of peace before America entered World War II. It was also a time when copper was still used freely in coinage. Just 2 years later, in 1943, the mint would switch to steel pennies due to wartime metal shortages. This makes the 1941 penny a kind of last of its kind for collectors who are passionate about wartime coinage. So now you may be wondering, should you start checking your piggy banks, coin jars, or inherited coin collections? Absolutely. You never know what treasures may be hiding in plain sight. The 1941 no mint mark penny may look common on the surface, but if it's well preserved, has a unique error, or retains its original mint luster, it could be your ticket to thousands, or even tens of thousands, of dollars. Let's quickly recap what makes the 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny worth up to $44,726. First, its historical significance from a pre-World War II America. Second, its scarcity in high uncirculated grades like MS-67 or MS-68 red. Third, the presence of errors or dye varieties that dramatically increase its value. And finally, the collector demand that continues to drive auction prices higher and higher. If you own a 1941 penny, take a close look. You might be holding something far more valuable than just 1 cent. And if you're a collector, this coin is absolutely one to add to your want list. Keep an eye out at garage sales, flea markets, and estate collections. Hidden gems are still out there. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth coin stories and valuable discoveries. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on coins that could be worth a fortune. Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and good luck out there. Welcome back to the channel, fellow coin collectors, history buffs, and treasure hunters across the world. If you've ever looked through your change and found a wheat penny from the 1940s, today's episode is going to blow your mind. We're diving deep into one of the most surprising and valuable coins of the World War II era, the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark. This ordinary-looking penny has stunned the coin collecting world with its rich history, hidden rarity, and jaw-dropping market value of up to $72,634. Yes, you heard that right, over $72,000 for a 1-cent coin minted more than 80 years ago. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know why this coin is so special, how to spot one, and what makes it worth a small fortune today. Let's rewind the clock to the year 1942. America was deep in the midst of World War II. With materials like copper and tin being redirected for the war effort, the United States Mint was under immense pressure to cut costs and conserve resources. Yet despite these wartime demands, the 1942 wheat penny remained largely unchanged in terms of its design. Featuring the classic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the iconic wheat stalks on the reverse, this penny seemed just like the others. But hidden within the millions produced in Philadelphia without a mint mark, there were some variations and conditions that have made specific coins incredibly rare and highly sought after today. The 1942 no-mint mark penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not include a mint mark on its coins at the time. That makes identifying it pretty simple. Just look below the date on the obverse side. If there's no letter, you're looking at the Philadelphia issue. Over 658 million of these were minted, making them seem common at first glance. But here's the twist: not all 1942 pennies are created equal. In fact, a small percentage were struck using experimental planchets, or with minute die errors, and others have survived in pristine, untouched condition, often called mint state. Let's talk about the design. On the obverse, we see Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the motto "I in God we trust" above his head, Liberty on the left, and the date 1942 on the right. On the reverse, the words 1 cent and United States of America are flanked by 2 wheat ears, symbolizing prosperity and stability. Above that is the phrase E pluribus unum. It's a simple yet powerful design by Victor David Brenner that has stood the test of time. Now, let's dive into the value. While worn or circulated examples of the 1942 no-mint mark penny might sell for 10 to 50 cents, those in better condition can fetch much more. A red-colored, uncirculated example graded MS-67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can sell for several $1,000s. But here's where it gets exciting. One specific example of the 1942 no-mint mark wheat penny, preserved in nearly perfect condition with a stunning red luster and minimal contact marks, sold at auction for a staggering $72,634. This sale rocked the numismatic community and put this humble penny into the elite category of ultra-valuable rare coins. What makes a 1942 no-mint mark penny worth over $72,000? It all comes down to condition, rarity, and market demand. First, the coin must be in mint state, meaning it has never been in circulation and shows no signs of wear. Second, the coin should have a full, bright red color, which is the original appearance of newly minted copper coins. Over time, most pennies darken or turn brown, so finding a red example from 1942 is rare. Third, the coin must be nearly flawless under magnification, with strong strike quality and minimal marks. Another contributing factor is the historical context. Coins minted during wartime carry extra historical significance. Collectors are drawn to these pieces as tangible connections to the past. The 1942 penny represents not just a currency, but a piece of the American experience during World War II. It tells the story of sacrifice, resilience, and change during one of the most turbulent times in modern history. Let's also consider grading. Coins are professionally graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. Most of the 1942 wheat pennies floating around today grade between VG8 and XF45, meaning very good to extremely fine. These are common and usually worth less than $1. But when you find one in MS65, MS66, or higher, especially with that bright red copper tone, you're looking at a serious collector's item. Coins that grade MS67 red or MS68 red are exceptionally rare, and that's where the huge money lies. How can you tell if your 1942 wheat penny is valuable? First, examine it under good lighting. If it still has a shiny red tone, that's a good sign. Second, check for wear. If Lincoln's cheek and jawline are sharp and well defined, and the reverse wheat lines are crisp, your coin may be in mint state. Third, look for errors or varieties. Some 1942 pennies feature double-die obverse, repunched mint marks on non-Philadelphia examples, or off-center strikes. These can add thousands to the value. So what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1942 no mint mark penny? The best course of action is to get it professionally graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can make a huge difference in the selling price and provide legitimacy to your coin. Once certified, you can sell it through auction houses, coin shows, or online platforms where serious collectors are willing to pay top dollar for the right piece. Let's wrap this up with a quick recap. The 1942 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark may seem like an ordinary coin, but in certain conditions, it's anything but. Thanks to a combination of historical context, rarity in high grade, and collector demand, this penny has reached astonishing values in recent years. One flawless example has sold for over $72,000, making it one of the most valuable wheat pennies ever discovered. So the next time you're sorting through your change or opening up that old coin jar, keep an eye out for that humble 1942 penny. It might just be the treasure hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into valuable coins and hidden treasures. Share this video with your fellow coin collectors, and let us know in the comments if you've ever come across a 1942 penny in your collection. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and never underestimate the power of a single cent. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today's video is going to blow your mind, especially if you've ever overlooked that old penny lying in a drawer or tucked away in a coin jar. We're diving deep into the fascinating story, value, and hidden wealth behind the 1951 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. This isn't just any ordinary cent. In some extremely rare cases, this coin has fetched jaw-dropping amounts, up to $90,898 on the current market. Yes, that's right, nearly $91,000 for a single penny. So make sure to watch this video until the end, because you might just have one of these treasures hiding in your home without even realizing it. We'll talk about how it was made, why it's rare, how to spot the valuable ones, and how much collectors are paying for them today. Let's jump into the history first. The 1951 Lincoln wheat penny, also known as the 1951 wheat cent, was part of the long-running wheat penny series that began in 1909. These pennies feature the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two stalks of wheat surrounding the words 1 cent on the reverse. This design was created by Victor David Brenner, and remained in circulation until 1958. The 1951 version came during the post-World War II era, a time when America was booming economically, and the U.S. Mint was producing coins in high quantities. In 1951, the United States Mint produced 3 versions of the Lincoln wheat penny. One came from Philadelphia and has no mint mark, one came from Denver with a D mint mark, and another came from San Francisco with an S mint mark. Today, we are focusing on the no mint mark coin, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, here's where things get exciting. The Philadelphia Mint struck a whopping 284,576,000 of these pennies in 1951, so at first glance, this coin may not seem rare. However, it's not about how many were made, it's about how many survived in pristine, flawless condition and whether they possess any errors, varieties, or extraordinary features. Most 1951 wheat pennies you'll find are heavily circulated and worth only a few cents to $1. But under the right conditions, the same coin can fetch tens of thousands of dollars. So what makes the 1951 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth $98.98? The highest known auction sale of a 1951 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny occurred when an extremely rare MS-68 Plus red example, meaning it was in mint state condition with full red luster, sold for a staggering $90,898. The red designation refers to the original reddish-orange copper color the coin had when it was first minted. Over time, most pennies turn brown due to oxidation. But if a coin has been stored perfectly and hasn't toned or tarnished, it maintains its vibrant red color, which is highly sought after by collectors. The grading scale, for those unfamiliar, ranges from 1 to 70. A grade of MS-68 Plus red is incredibly rare, especially for coins made over 70 years ago. Coins at that level are nearly flawless, with perfect strikes, strong luster, and no visible scratches or nicks even under magnification. Only a handful of 1951 no mint mark wheat pennies have ever been found in this condition. That's what drives the astronomical value. So now, the big question: how can you tell if you have one of these valuable coins? Here are the key things to look for. First, check the date. It must read 1951 and have no mint mark under the date. If you see a D or an S, it's from Denver or San Francisco. Second, examine the coin's condition. Is it shiny, copper red, and free of major scratches or blemishes? If it looks like it just came out of a bankroll, you might have something special. Third, consider getting your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. This is the only way to get an official mint state grade. A coin graded MS-65 or higher starts to gain serious value. At MS-66, values can hit a few $100s. At MS-67, the value jumps to thousands. And at MS-68 or higher with full red color, you're looking at tens of thousands, even up to $98.98. You should also watch out for any errors or varieties. Double die averse, repunched mint marks. Even though this one doesn't have a mint mark, repunching may occur in the design or lettering, can increase the coin's rarity and value. A 1951 penny with a visible die crack, off-center strike, or doubled lettering could be a jackpot waiting to be discovered. Let's go over a few real-world examples of 1951 no mint mark wheat penny sales. An MS-66 red sold for about $1.15. An MS-67 red example sold for $2.15. A nearly perfect MS-68 Plus red brought in $90,898 at a major auction. That's a huge range, and your coin could fall anywhere depending on condition. You might be asking yourself, why would anyone pay that much for a penny? Well, rare coins are a major part of the collector's world. They're treated as historical artifacts, works of art, and valuable commodities all rolled into one. The older the coin, the harder it becomes to find in perfect condition. That's why top-grade 1951 no mint mark pennies are so desirable. Serious collectors will pay premium prices to complete their sets with the best examples. And here's another tip: always check old wheat pennies you come across in pocket change, rolls of coins, or inherited collections. Even if they aren't mint state, some 1951 pennies can still bring in $10 to $50 if they're in good shape, and hundreds if they have unique features. If you want to search for valuable pennies, focus on finding bright red color, sharp details on Lincoln's face and the wheat stalks, no scratches or wear, and any kind of error variety. You never know, you could be holding a tiny copper treasure worth thousands. Let's quickly recap what we've learned. The 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny was minted in Philadelphia. Over 284 million were made, but only a few survive in pristine condition. Mint state red examples are extremely rare and valuable. The highest auction price to date is $90,898 for an MS68 Plus red coin. Even lower grade examples can bring good money depending on condition and rarity. So there you have it, folks. The humble penny could secretly be your ticket to a small fortune. Never underestimate the value of checking your pocket change, coin jars, and old collections. One day, that shiny 1951 no-mint mark penny could end up making you tens of thousands of dollars richer. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins and want more content like this, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Leave a comment if you think you might have a rare penny or if you have a coin story to share. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and as always, good luck out there. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors, history lovers, and treasure hunters. In today's episode, we're diving deep into the captivating story of the 1952 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. This seemingly ordinary coin, minted over 70 years ago, has turned out to be a hidden gem in the world of numismatics. If you've ever stumbled upon an old penny in your change jar or inherited a coin collection from a relative, you might want to pay close attention. Because one of these copper beauties could be worth as much as $52,937 in today's market. Let's start by setting the stage. The year was 1952. The United States was in the post-World War II era, deep in the heart of the baby boom. President Harry S. Truman was in office, and the Korean War was raging overseas. Back at home, American industry was booming, and so was coin production. Among the most widely circulated coins of the era was the Lincoln wheat cent, a staple of American pockets since 1909. The 1952 Lincoln wheat penny was struck primarily at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not place a mint mark on its coins at the time. That's why when you find a 1952 penny with no mint mark under the date, it means it was minted in Philadelphia. That simple detail makes it a no mint mark variety. While hundreds of millions were produced that year, only a fraction of those coins survive in pristine condition today. And that's where the value lies. Let's talk about the design. On the obverse, or front, of the coin, we see the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this portrait has been on the penny since 1909, commemorating Lincoln's 100th birthday. The inscriptions include the word Liberty, the year 1952, and the motto I in God We Trust. Turn the coin over and you'll find the classic wheat ears design on the reverse. This design, also by Brenner, features two stylized wheat stalks framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above that reads the national motto E Pluribus Unum. This wheat reverse was used from 1909 until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. Now, let's dive into what makes this coin potentially worth a fortune. While over 186 million 1952 pennies were minted in Philadelphia alone, most of them were heavily circulated. That means they show signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, and other imperfections. However, a small number of these coins were carefully preserved in mint state condition. These are the coins that fetch thousands of dollars at auctions and private sales today. The value of a 1952 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny depends on several factors. First, the condition of the coin is key. Coin grading plays a crucial role in determining market value. A coin graded as MS60, or mint state 60, might fetch around $50 to $100. But if you step up to MS65, that value can skyrocket into the thousands. And here's where it gets really exciting. An ultra-rare MS67 red example of this coin recently sold for an astonishing $52,937. That's right, a single copper penny from 1952, smaller than a dime, selling for more than the price of a luxury car. What makes these high-grade examples so rare is not just their condition but also their eye appeal. A bright red luster, no contact marks, and perfectly struck details can make a coin stand out among the rest. These specimens are highly sought after by collectors, investors, and coin museums alike. Another factor that can add value is an error or variety. While the 1952 no-mint mark penny is not famous for major minting errors, there have been a few discovered over the years. These include doubled dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks. If your penny has one of these rare mint errors, its value could be significantly higher than standard mint state examples. Let's take a closer look at the recent market activity. A 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny graded MS67 read by PCGS or NGC, the top two grading services in the world, fetched $52,937 at a major auction. This price reflects both the rarity of the condition and the intense competition among collectors for top-grade coins. Lower-grade mint-state coins, like those graded MS65 or MS66 red, commonly sell for $500 to $5,000, depending on the demand and the coin's specific visual quality. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know if your 1952 penny is worth a fortune? The first step is to look at its condition. Does it still have its original red luster? Are there minimal contact marks? If so, it might be time to have it professionally graded. Even if it's not a top-tier specimen, a well-preserved 1952 penny can still bring in decent money. And if it has a rare variety or error, the value could multiply overnight. If you want to get your coin professionally graded, consider sending it to PCGS, the Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Company. These organizations authenticate, grade, and encapsulate your coin in a tamper-proof holder, which gives buyers and sellers confidence in the value of the coin. It's also important to store your coins properly. Keep them in a cool, dry place, ideally in protective holders that prevent scratches, corrosion, and environmental damage. Never clean your coins, as this can actually reduce their value significantly. Collectors prefer coins in their original, unaltered state. In summary, the 1952 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny is a remarkable piece of American history. While millions were minted, only a few have survived in the kind of pristine condition that commands top-dollar prices. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone with a jar of old pennies, it's worth taking a closer look. You might just be holding a coin worth more than you ever imagined. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like this video if you found it helpful. Subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the world of rare coins, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next episode. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a 1952 wheat penny, and what condition it was in. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, you might just strike gold with copper. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today we're diving into an exciting and mind-blowing story about a humble coin that you might just have lying unnoticed in your old change jar or tucked away in your grandparents' coin box. We're talking about the 1954 Lincoln Wheat penny, a seemingly ordinary coin that, under the right conditions, could be worth an astonishing $73,539 or even more on today's coin market. Stick with us as we walk you through the incredible history, rarity, errors, and current value of the 1954 wheat penny. You don't want to miss this. Let's start with a little history. The Lincoln Wheat penny series ran from 1909 to 1958 and featured two wheat stalks on the reverse side, hence the nickname Wheat penny. The front shows a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbolic representation of liberty. The 1954 penny was struck at the Denver Mint. That's what the D Mint mark stands for. In 1954, over 251 million Lincoln Wheat pennies were minted at Denver, making it one of the more common coins of that year. Now you might be wondering, if over 250 million were made, why is it worth so much today? The answer lies in condition, rarity of error varieties, and collector demand. While most 1954D pennies are only worth between 1 and 5 cents in circulated condition, certain rare versions in high mint state grades or with dramatic mint errors can fetch thousands. And yes, even tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Let's talk about those error coins. Some of the most valuable 1954D wheat pennies are ones that have striking mistakes. Things like double die errors, off-center strikes, die cracks, repunched mint marks, and clipped planchets. These kinds of flaws make a coin incredibly unique and therefore more desirable to collectors. One example includes a 1954D penny with a strong double die obverse, where the date and lettering are noticeably doubled. Another high-value version had a dramatic off-center strike that cut off nearly 30% of the design. These kinds of errors can send the price of a coin soaring into the thousands. In addition to mint errors, the grade or condition of the penny is absolutely crucial. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale by organizations like PCGS or NGC. A circulated 1954D penny in good to fine condition might be worth only a few cents, but an uncirculated example in mint state 67 or higher, with full red luster, is a different story altogether. In one auction, a 1954D penny in MS 67 red condition, certified by PCGS, sold for a jaw-dropping $73,539. That's right, nearly $74,000 for a single penny. This proves that if your coin has full red coloration, no visible wear, and sharp strike detail, it could be a hidden jackpot. The demand for high-grade Lincoln wheat pennies has never been higher. Collectors from around the world compete in online and in-person auctions for these coins. The 1954D penny in pristine condition is becoming more scarce every year, driving up the value even more. As the years go by, fewer high-grade examples survive due to circulation, damage, cleaning, or improper storage. That's why coins that have been preserved in excellent condition can be considered rare and extremely valuable today. So how can you tell if your 1954D penny is worth big money? Here's what to look for. Check the mint mark. Make sure it has the D for Denver. No mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia, which is a different value range. Inspect for errors. Look carefully under magnification for doubling on the date, Liberty, or motto. Check for off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and other anomalies. Evaluate the condition. The redder and shinier the coin, the better. Avoid coins with scratches, discoloration, or signs of wear. Get it graded. If your coin looks promising, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified coin with a high grade is far more valuable and trusted in the marketplace. Watch the market. Stay up to date with auction results and market trends. Some rare coins skyrocket in price due to sudden spikes in collector interest. Now let's break down the current value ranges of the 1954D wheat penny. In heavily circulated condition, it's usually worth around 3 to 10 cents. In lightly circulated or extremely fine condition, it can go for 25 to 50 cents. In uncirculated mint state 60. The value jumps to around $3 to $5 in mint state 65 red. The coin can fetch anywhere from $100 to $250 in ultra-high mint state 67 red condition. As certified by PCGS, the value can explode to $15,000 to over $70,000, depending on rarity and demand. With a rare error and top condition combined, the record price stands at $73,539. If you're a coin collector or even a casual hobbyist, this is the kind of coin story that gives you chills. Imagine stumbling across an old penny in a drawer or box, only to discover it's worth more than a luxury car. It's happened before, and it could happen again. That's the magic of coin collecting. So the next time you're sorting through your change, looking at old rolls, or checking that inherited coin collection, keep an eye out for the 1954D wheat penny. You never know, your 1-cent coin could be hiding a fortune. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a treasure hunting update. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin, or if you have a 1954D penny you want to learn more about. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and remember, every coin has a story, and some are worth a whole lot more than just 1 cent. Welcome back to our channel, Coin Collectors and Treasure Hunters. Today we're diving into the fascinating and potentially life-changing world of rare US coins. And we're focusing on one very special and highly sought-after piece, the 1955 D Lincoln Wheat penny. That's right, this tiny 1-cent coin, if found in the right condition and with specific details, can be worth an astonishing $83,893 or more in today's market. So grab your magnifying glass and let's go on a journey through history, rarity, and the hidden value sitting inside your pocket change. You don't want to miss this. Let's begin with a little history. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the coin featured a portrait of Lincoln, the first time a real person appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. On the reverse, 2 stalks of wheat represented prosperity and America's agricultural roots. This iconic design remained in use until 1958. Now let's fast forward to the year 1955. It was a year full of Cold War tension, booming car culture, and rock and roll beginning to take over American youth. But inside the Denver Mint, something small but powerful was being struck: the 1955 D Lincoln Wheat penny. The D mint mark under the date stands for Denver, where millions of these pennies were produced. In fact, over 563 million were minted that year. So what makes this particular penny special? How could one of them be worth nearly $84,000 today? Let's break it down. Not all 1955 D pennies are worth a fortune. In fact, most are only worth a few cents to a couple of dollars depending on wear and condition. But certain rare examples, especially those in pristine condition or with errors, can skyrocket in value. The first thing to understand is that collectors look for something called mint state coins. These are coins that have never been used in circulation and still appear exactly as they did when they left the mint. A 1955 D penny graded as MS67 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC is extremely rare and can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. But it's not just about condition. Another factor is die varieties and errors. Although the most famous 1955 penny is the Philadelphia double die error, which features dramatic doubling of the date and lettering, the 1955 D has its own unique quirks. Some 1955 D pennies exhibit slight repunched mint marks or subtle doubling on the reverse. These anomalies happen when the dies used to strike the coins are misaligned or reused improperly. Such minting errors can significantly increase a coin's value, especially when they are verified and authenticated. Another major factor driving the value of the 1955 D penny is rarity in high grades. With over 500 million coins produced, you might think these pennies are common, and in lower grades they are. But over the decades, most have been damaged, worn, lost, or melted. Finding a near-perfect 1955 D penny with a strong strike, full luster, and clean surfaces is like finding a needle in a haystack. This rarity drives up demand among serious collectors and investors. Let's talk numbers. As of now, the current market value for a 1955 D Lincoln Wheat penny in certified mint state condition can reach a staggering $83,893 or more at auction. In fact, some have even sold for higher amounts depending on their exact grade, strike quality, and eye appeal. The record price for a 1955 D penny was set when one graded MS67 Plus read by PCGS sold for nearly $84,000 due to its immaculate condition and brilliant red color. That's a life-changing amount for a coin you might just find in a forgotten jar or old collection. So what should you be looking for? First, inspect your 1955 pennies and make sure they have the D mint mark below the date. Then examine the coin's condition. If it looks uncirculated with little to no wear, you could be holding a valuable piece. Use a magnifying glass to check for any doubling of the letters or numbers, especially on Liberty in God We Trust, and the date. Also look for any unusual shapes or repunched mint marks. If you believe you have a high quality or error version of this coin, your next step should be to get it professionally graded. Send it to a trusted grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate the coin, grade its condition on a scale from 1 to 70, and seal it in a tamper-proof holder that adds credibility and value. Remember, a coin graded MS-60 may be worth $10 to $20, but a coin graded MS-67 or higher can leap into five-figure territory or beyond. Collectors and investors alike are always on the lookout for key dates and high-grade examples in the Lincoln Wheat series. The 1955 D penny may not be as famous as the 1955 double die from Philadelphia, but in top condition, it is every bit as desirable and potentially more valuable. The combination of historical charm, iconic design, minting anomalies, and survival rarity all contribute to its incredible value. And don't forget the emotional value. Many collectors got their start by sorting through old change with a parent or grandparent, discovering coins like this one. The thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and the possibility of striking it rich makes coin collecting one of the most exciting hobbies in the world. In conclusion, if you come across a 1955 D Lincoln Wheat penny, don't dismiss it. Take a closer look. That little copper coin could be worth far more than its face value. It could be worth a car, a house, or even change your life. With a potential value of $83,893 or more, the 1955 D penny is one of those numismatic treasures you don't want to ignore. Thanks for watching and joining us on this deep dive into the 1955 D Wheat penny. Be sure to check your collection, your pocket change, or even your piggy bank. You never know what kind of treasure is hiding in plain sight. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin stories, and don't forget to click the bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your next penny be worth a fortune. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and history lovers. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating Lincoln Wheat pennies ever struck, the 1956 D Wheat penny. If you have one in your collection or find one in your change jar, don't let it go unnoticed. Because believe it or not, some of these pennies have sold for as much as $80,536 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent, worth over $80,000. Now let's explore why. Let's start with the basics. The 1956 D Wheat penny is a 1-cent coin that was minted in Denver, Colorado. That's what the D mint mark stands for. This coin features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the iconic wheat ears on the back. It was one of the last wheat pennies ever produced, as the reverse design would later change in 1959 to feature the Lincoln Memorial. In 1956, the Denver Mint struck an astounding 1,098,201,100 wheat pennies. Yes, over 1 billion coins. So you may be wondering, with that many minted, how can this coin be rare or worth a fortune? The answer lies in condition, rarity, errors, and collector demand. Most 1956 D Wheat pennies are only worth a few cents in circulated condition. But if the coin is in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially in a grade of MS-67 or higher, then it becomes highly desirable to collectors. In those high grades, only a tiny fraction of the billion-plus coins survive. And if the coin features certain minting errors or unique characteristics, its value skyrockets. Let's talk about the history. The 1956 D penny was minted during a time of major change in America. Post-war optimism was booming. Eisenhower was president. The U.S. was seeing a rise in consumerism, suburban expansion, and even the early stages of the civil rights movement. This penny is more than just metal, it's a piece of mid-20th century American life, pocket change from the soda fountains and drive-in theaters of the 1950s. Now, back to its design. The obverse side of the coin features Abraham Lincoln's profile, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. On the reverse, we see 2 wheat stalks surrounding the words, 1 cent, and United States of America. This design was used from 1909 to 1958 and is beloved by collectors for its vintage, agricultural aesthetic, What really makes the 1950-60 wheat penny stand out is its era varieties. Some of the most valuable versions of this coin feature doubling, also known as a double die. This happens when the coin die strikes the planchet more than once but not in the exact same position, creating a doubling effect on the date, mint mark, or lettering. Another rare and valuable variation includes a repunched mint mark, where the D appears to have been stamped more than once in slightly different positions. These tiny details, often visible only under magnification, can make a huge difference in value. So, what are collectors paying for these coins today? In average circulated condition, the 1950-60 penny is worth around 3 to 10 cents. In better condition, say an XF, extra fine, or AU, about uncirculated, it might sell for a few dollars. But when the coin is in brilliant, uncirculated mint state, and especially if it's certified by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC, it can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now here's where things get truly exciting. A rare 1950-60 wheat penny graded MS67 Plus read by PCGS sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $80,536. What made it worth so much? It was in nearly flawless condition, with a brilliant red luster, perfectly struck details, and no noticeable flaws under magnification. Add to that its rarity in that grade and intense collector competition, and you have a record-breaking sale. But here's the best part. There are still many of these pennies out there, sitting in old jars, tucked away in drawers, buried in forgotten coin collections. Some people don't even realize what they have. You might have one in your own home right now. So how can you tell if your 1950-60 penny is valuable? Start by checking the mint mark. Make sure it has the D under the date. Then, examine the overall condition. Look for sharp detail, strong luster, and lack of wear. If the coin is bright red, that's a bonus. Red coloration often means the coin has not toned over time, and collectors pay a premium for that. Next, look for any signs of doubling or a repunched mint mark. You can use a jeweler's loupe or a coin microscope. And if you think your coin might be special, send it to a professional grading service. Their certification can make all the difference when it comes time to sell. Let's take a moment to reflect. The story of the 1950-60 wheat penny reminds us that value isn't just about age, it's about condition, uniqueness, history, and demand. This tiny coin, made of humble copper, has become a treasure for collectors. It carries the spirit of 1950s America, the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and the thrill of the hunt for rare and valuable pieces. So, the next time you come across a handful of pennies, don't toss them aside. Look carefully. Because one of them might just be the key to a small fortune. And that's the incredible story of the 1950-60 wheat penny, a simple coin with a rich history and a current market value that can reach as high as $80,536. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more rare coin deep dives, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on the next hidden treasure. Let us know in the comments if you've ever come across a valuable coin in your pocket change. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, you just might find a fortune in your fingers. Welcome back, treasure hunters and rare coin enthusiasts. Today's video is about one of the most exciting and surprising coins that could be hiding right inside your pocket change or old jar of pennies, the 1956 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. That's right, this humble-looking coin from the mid-20th century may not seem like much at first glance, but its backstory, minting quirks, and current market value will leave you speechless. In fact, one specimen of this very penny has fetched an astonishing $73,000 at auction, and the rarest examples can now reach a jaw-dropping $93,745 in today's collectible coin market. So sit back, grab your magnifying glass, and let's dive deep into the world of the 1956 wheat penny, how it came to be, what makes it so valuable, and what you need to look for if you want to discover a life-changing fortune in your pocket. Change. Let's begin with the history. The 1956 wheat penny is part of the legendary Lincoln Cent series. Designed by Victor David Brenner, The Lincoln Wheat Penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The reverse side featured two wheat stalks, symbolizing prosperity, and this design remained in use until 1958. These coins are beloved by collectors around the world due to their rich historical value and classic American design. In 1956, the United States Mint produced Lincoln Wheat Pennies at two locations, Philadelphia and Denver. Now, here's the key detail. Coins minted in Denver carried a small D mint mark beneath the date, while those minted in Philadelphia were issued with no mint mark at all. So, when you see a 1956 penny without a mint mark, that means it was produced in Philadelphia. But not all of them are created equal. While the Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of these coins, only a tiny fraction were preserved in pristine condition, and even fewer carry rare errors or varieties that skyrocket their value. Now, let's talk mintage numbers. In 1956, over 420 million Lincoln Wheat Pennies were minted at the Philadelphia facility. That sounds like a lot, right? But here's where things get interesting. Most of these pennies were heavily circulated, worn down through decades of use, or simply tossed away and forgotten. Finding a 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny in brilliant uncirculated condition is incredibly rare. And if your coin happens to have a unique die error or other striking anomaly, the value can jump significantly, sometimes into 5-figure or even 6-figure territory. So, what exactly makes a 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny worth up to $93,745? The answer lies in a combination of condition, rarity, and collectible appeal. Coins are graded based on their physical state, with the Sheldon scale ranging from poor 1 to mint state 70. A 1956 penny in mint state 65 or higher, with full original luster, no scratches, and strong eye appeal, is highly desirable. Add in rare die varieties like doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and repunched mint marks. Yes, even though it has no mint mark, the die may have been repunched from previous uses, and you have a recipe for an ultra-valuable coin. Let me share a real example. In a major auction, a 1956 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny graded mint state 67 red, meaning the coin retained its original coppery red color with almost no signs of wear, sold for over $73,000. Today, due to rising interest in rare numismatics and low supply of pristine examples, the most elite specimens are now appraised and offered at nearly $94,000. That's right, a single penny, worth almost $100,000. You're probably wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these valuable 1956 pennies? Start by examining the coin carefully under a good light or magnifying glass. Look for coins with a sharp strike, bright copper color, and minimal contact marks. Coins that look like they just came out of the mint are the ones collectors want. Then check for errors. Doubled die obverse, where the date or lettering appears slightly doubled, are extremely valuable. Off-center strikes or coins struck on defective planchets can also command high prices. Another thing to look for is the coin's color. Coins are categorized by their toning as red, red-brown, or brown. Red coins, meaning they still look as fresh and shiny as the day they were minted, are far more valuable than those that have toned to a dull brown. So where can you sell or evaluate your 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny? Reputable coin dealers, certified numismatic grading services like PCGS and NGC, and online auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers are great places to start. If you think your coin might be valuable, it's worth paying for a professional grading service. A certified high-grade 1956 penny with proof of authenticity and condition can sell for tens of thousands of dollars more than an ungraded one. And what about coins that aren't in mint state but still in decent condition? Even circulated 1956 wheat pennies without a mint mark can be worth between 5 cents to several dollars depending on their wear, color, and any unique attributes. So don't throw them away. Collectors are always hunting for better condition upgrades or era coins to complete their sets. To summarize, here's what makes the 1956 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny potentially worth up to $93,745. First, high mint state condition. ideally MS65 or better second, original red color, with no signs of oxidation or discoloration. Third, rare die errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or other minting anomalies. Fourth, authentication and professional grading from a trusted third-party service. Fifth, historical demand, collector interest, and limited supply of high-quality examples. It's a perfect storm of rarity, beauty, and history. A coin like this is not just a piece of metal, it's a slice of American heritage and a golden opportunity for those lucky enough to spot one. So next time you're digging through old jars of coins, checking your pocket change, or visiting a flea market or estate sale, don't overlook the humble penny. That ordinary-looking 1956 wheat penny with no mint mark might just be your ticket to a small fortune. Thanks for watching this in-depth look at the 1956 no mint mark wheat penny and why it's worth so much money today. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, rare finds, and hidden treasures, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found an old wheat penny or want help identifying your coin. Until next time, happy collecting, and keep checking your change. You never know what gem you might find.